a really proud history of working collaboratively, so we understand really deeply the benefits of collaborative endeavours. It's quite hard sometimes to explain to people why it works better, because to someone like me from the West, there's an element of course it works better, because if you work collaboratively, you share knowledge, you share resources, and you don't double up and you don't duplicate. And between a group of organisations, you've got a range of people and experience, and that better reflects our community rather than just having a one-dimensional approach.
If someone is wanting to work more on collaborating, the first thing is to share information with each other. Bring your funders into those conversations at a really early stage. Then I think the next thing is around coming to agreement about low-hanging fruit. You actually have to learn to work together. It's not natural. We're actually supported in the ecology of community organisations to be somewhat competitive. This is working against that, and this is actually reaching into a much deeper area of actually we are much better together. And the benefits of collaborating and working together is that you actually bring your own perspectives, you also bring your own resources and your connections and network. Working in the community sector is about people. It's about working together and harnessing all those different energies to work together going forward collectively. I think actually one of the key successes is letting go of ownership. What's more important is what we're trying to achieve for the community. One of the things that gets in the way a lot is saying, oh, you can only apply once to a fund. Actually, I think an organisation should be able to apply again if they're umbrellaing for another organisation. We have far too many community organisations with a huge transactional cost of governance and management. We could be far more efficient as a sector if actually we work together at that funding model, and I think funders have a huge role to play in that.
Thinking about how we go forward and deal to all the inequities that we face, we can look at living wage, pay people decent wages for a start, make sure that people can get jobs, make sure that people have access to their digital requirements. But to me it absolutely comes back to empowered leadership, and we have to look at Māori and Pacific leadership, because when we break down the facts and figures, it was Māori and Pacific whānau who were the most impacted with COVID. And until we have leadership in those two communities that are supported to run projects for Māori, by Māori, we aren't going to make change. And something that's really dear to my heart is getting away from the well-meaning middle-aged Pākehā ladies like me driving our cars and delivering food parcels, because it's fantastic and it gets people out of an immediate hole, but it does nothing for people's mana and for their futures and for the futures of their whānau.
I think that as a country we're getting to a stage where actually we're going beyond what is Te Tiriti to actually how do we enact it in our everyday working lives. And I think this is just part of that journey and that response to it.
For the policy makers and the money holders and checkbook owners in Wellington, I think there's some really simple stuff. Trust the community, fund collaboration, make people accountable for public money that they get, but trust that people will be creative for the right reasons, and let's start funding young Māori and Pacific leaders to be able to lead us out of this.